UK, the one and only, the king of Krav Maga in England.
I'm more like the jester of Krav Maga, but that's okay, you know. And the jester is the one who stays, and the kings keep coming and going. I'm happy with the title.
But
I like the way you put that.
Yeah,
there we go.
You're a smart man.
We met a couple of years ago in Israel.
2017.
But we have some common friends, like Mr. Smith.
Quite a few, yeah. Oh yeah. You stole it from us. I'm gonna claim him back. I'm gonna kidnap in the middle of the night.
He's Texan. That's its own separate country, man. That's
true. Yeah, it's in between U.S. and Mexico, isn't it? I know. Yeah, I know.
But, Joe, it was interesting meeting you in Israel and training with you, because you've trained with a lot. Well, once you stop being a misanthrope, once you actually were
right.
leading the group. But you trained with a bunch of different organizations.
Yes.
So you sort of pick and choose what you liked, but also you teach what different organizations teach. You
That's
sort
right.
of blend it to make it your own.
Just 1 second. There's someone saying here that is not showing on a page. Is that?
I'm working on it. Sorry.
It's all right.
Thank you, Monica. I had the time mixed up.
Yes, Monica. Thanks for Monica will come very early today, and she texts me. It's like, what time is it again? I says, well, it's supposed to be 4 p.m. UK time and 11 a.m. US. And she's like, I think Ernie got the times wrong. I says, nah, that's fine.
I put 9 p.m.
9 p.m. It'll be like 2 in the morning here or something like that. But that's okay.
Tell
you're this guy. Go ahead, keep talking.
See if your people can just look up my page because it's open. Ernie Kirk.
Look at.
Yep. So I'm going to make this public, so anybody who searches Ernie Kirk can get on and see it.
Yeah, there's Kurt saying that they found a tween. Exactly. Wait, Kurt. Let me make this even better. Watch this now.
You're like my mini-me.
This is for close combat, for Krav Maga, because I cannot see things at close range anymore. Terrible.
Paul says howdy. Hello, Mr. Smith.
I can see us. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I was telling Paul that we need to kidnap you, bring you back to the UK. Maybe.
I don't know. Paul's heavily armed at this point.
The other day was so funny when we were talking, because I've joked. I says, I was expecting you with a big hat. And then he goes, I don't have a hat now, but I have this. And he pulls the, long weapon. And he goes, I got also the pistol. I've got this. I've got that. And I'm like, oh, come on. You're making us very jealous here.
Paul's prepared. So anyway, as I was saying, you trained with a number of different organizations, correct?
Yes.
How many?
Yes. Let me start from the beginning after the big explosion. Okay, so it was I attended my instructor's course let me start one click back there. I started training Krav Maga here in London. That was back in 2001, give or take 2001. At the time that I could count, we had about 2 or 3 clubs, 3 clubs actually in London that taught Krav Maga. But I was living miles away. I had to ask the guy working a security company with me to come 1 hour early to relieve my shift, so I could jump on the underground, or tube as we call it, and then travel all the way to central London, train for 2 hours, and then eventually another hour and so back. And then next day I had to show up at work 1 hour earlier, so I could send that guy home. So it was a bit of a effort, let's put it this way. But it was nice. It was fun. Then after about a year, I've spoke to the instructor, which was a female instructor, Sue Dixon, which if she's watching, hello, haven't seen you in years, but we have pictures. And so I said, look, I want to start practicing more Krav Maga. I want to become an instructor. And then she said, well, we don't have anything happening at the moment, but maybe, if you want to go to Israel, contact this guy, which was Eyal Yanilov at the time. I sent broken English email to AL saying, this is what I want to do. I want to become an instructor. Do you have any instructor's course? Happy to take at any stage. And he says, no, we don't have anything now, but maybe, if you want to come to Israel and do a private instructor's course, we can organize. And then in my tiny head, with no hair now, it was such a great idea to go to Israel and spend 30 days training Krav Maga, 8 hours a day. Yeah, such a great plan. I was a black belt in karate, come on, I can do that. So at the time I had a few changes in my life, such as I divorced for the second time. Make a note, that's more coming. Yeah, I know. And then I literally quit the job, bought a ticket, landed in Tel Aviv with a bunch of dollars in my pocket, and I did not exchange into shekels, of course, because I never thought about that. Pretty much I can pay them in dollars. Yeah. And all the information I had was basically, you take the bus 947, we'll never forget that one, from the airport to Netanya, and I'll meet you at the station. Sure. How much more information do you need? Come on.
Yeah.
Easy, huh? So I did what he said, jumped on a bus. Then never seen that many soldiers in my life with rifles, everybody taking the weapons home. I remember I was in the UK for a while, and it's not natural to see people carrying weapons like that. So eventually I managed to get to Netanya, sat at the station, the bus station, waiting for the guy to come, and he picked me up, took me to a very cheap, let me emphasize again, very cheap hostel, the main square in Netanya. And yeah, did I emphasize cheap enough? So anyway, so there I was. And next day I was introduced to another gentleman called Amnon Dasa, which is the guy who runs today Krav Maga, Smart Krav Maga. And he said, well, Amnon will be your instructor and for the next few days. And I might have a few other guys. One of them will be Gabi Noah, which is Gabi Noah International. And also met Zevik Cohen. And I met a bunch of other guys there. I met Shahal Klafeld, the big Shahal that was in charge of the IDF, the Krav Maga in the IDF back in the day. And a bunch of other guys, Eli Benami, Avi Moyal, and those guys. So first day of training, I was there very enthusiastic, all my karate, hands on my belt still, let me put the hand on the belt here. And then he said to me, I'm going to stand here. You do this little marking game around. I said, sure. How hard can it be? So I start moving, and eventually I went in, boom, punch him in the lip on the very first day in the morning.
No.
So yeah, so that set the pace of my 30 days training in Israel with and two was the Passover. I was at my hotel sleeping because I couldn't even walk anymore. After 8 hours a day, I was literally leaving my bag in the gym and taking a taxi back to the hotel because I couldn't walk. I heard this massive bang, but the bang, like a plane breaking the sound, the sound barrier, that kind of a bang. So I opened the window, this very cheap hotel, and I looked outside. There was nothing. The sky was blue. It was beautiful because I used to fly helicopters and plane every day, all day, at that period of time. Went out to the reception and realized there was a suicide attack. Someone walked into a hotel called the Park Hotel, and it was a big party there, and the guy blew himself up and killed a bunch of people. And that was like 200 yards away from the hotel. Hence the bang. But the hotel window was facing this way, and the other building was that direction, over that Diamond Square, the Hatzmaut, as they call the place. I never forget that name.
We lost you.
You lost me?
I can hear you, but we can't see you.
Resources will appear here. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
I hear you. He's practicing his ninja skills.
Yeah, I disappeared. Did you see that? Connect camera. Hold on.
Ta-da! Let me get you back.
Ta-da.
Really?
You'll
3,
be
2, 1.
Yeah.
Okay, there must be the Mossad that taking me down because I'm telling the story, isn't it?
Exactly. Redacted.
Small correction. Yeah, so that was the whole thing, man. A bunch of people died, and of course, as a Brazilian that I am also, I grabbed my camera and run down there and then start taking pictures. So at that stage, a lady who was in one of the ambulances with someone there started running towards me, throwing punches, and I couldn't understand why. So then I realized because of the religious people, they don't allow people to take pictures, and especially on that kind of occasion. So I had to protect my camera in one hand and use the other one to block the lady and run back to the hotel. It was a bit of a Wild West scenario there. Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, 2 weeks after or 2 weeks prior to that, but the timeline became a bit of a mess now. But we had another attack in Netanya. 2 guys dressed up as police officers drove a car through at the time they were building the wall still. The wall was in the beginning, the famous wall. And then start shooting. They threw hand grenades into this hotel, and as people were running out, they were shooting people. And then they run to another hotel, did the same. And then eventually the police arrived. The police knew that 2 guys with firearms shooting at people. So another Israeli, good Samaritan, pulled his pistol, starts running after the bad guys. The police arrived, shot everybody dead. So in 2 weeks in Israel, I was in the middle of 2 different attacks there, which wasn't very nice. And in the beginning, I thought it was, oh my God, the Israelis are very great, isn't it? They create a whole scenario just because I'm here. No, it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case at all. So it was very strange at the time. I remember going to the cinema to watch a movie. Was the Black Hawk Down? I'll never forget that movie too. And then on the way back to my hotel, I couldn't back because they put a fence around the whole place, 3 blocks, and I couldn't go back to the hotel. So I almost had to sleep on the street that night.
Oh my God.
Yeah, see, nothing happens in small proportions with me here. Everything has to be massive.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
yeah, you can say that. So that was it. I managed to survive the whole thing. I hurt my back, and I had to be taken. And literally, I'm grabbing his back like a child, and took me to the physio, trying to fix me. Brought me back in place, and I managed to finish the course. That was 2002. Yes, long story. So after that, I decided to go to Brazil. I thought, okay, that's it. My life in the UK is over, and it's time to go back to Brazil, where I'm originally from. And so when I'm in Brazil for like 3-4 months, I was, really bored, and nothing happened. And there is a problem there, because when you don't have qualifications, you're not qualified enough to apply to any jobs. All of a sudden, I was in U.S. training, then a bit of a SWAT training in Miami, with Dade County, and all those guys. And been to Israel. All of a sudden, I was overqualified for the jobs. And I was like, come on, guys, we never win this game.
Yeah.
Don't have the qualifications, you're too qualified. How does that work? So then I got bored, and I called the old management of mine here in the UK. And the guy said, look, you start working tomorrow. So, but I'm still in Brazil. I said, well, that's your problem. You start tomorrow, or you start when you get here. So and that was it. That's pretty much a job interview over the phone. And then 3 days later, I was back in the UK working, and that was it. Shall I continue?
Sure. Why not?
You want to grab some tissues, or maybe you're going to cry? Or,
No, I was just looking at the time. I'm like, he knows we have only like an hour.
I'm Brazilian. Boys asking, are you Brazilian? Says, yes, I'm Brazilian, just like you. Yeah.
Brazilian and Italian?
Okay, so let me cut to do another story. So freeze that one. Let's move. My father is he passed away 2 months ago, but never mind. It's okay. He was from Naples, from south of Italy, which is a little Texas within Italy, by the way. Yeah. Everybody's Italian until you mention the word Napoli. They will go, oh, wait a minute. Now we're talking about something else. Yes, now we're talking about something else. And he moved to Brazil when he was about 10, 11 years old. My grandfather took all the family there that way. And so, yes, I'm Brazilian because I was born in Brazil. I'm Italian because my father was Italian. And now I've been in the UK for more than 20 years. And since Paul left, the citizenship was open. I took his place. I became British now. So, yeah, the place available. Yeah, so going back to the first story again. This is like a Tarantino scenario where the beginning is in the middle is at the end. But at the end, we will understand one another.
Any conversation with you and I.
Yeah, exactly. You need to film it and play back again and try to watch in slow motion. I trained initially with IKMF, International Krav Maga Federation, which at the time was split. Had the 4 landlords, as you call it. Yeah, Eyal, the other was Avi Moyal, the other one was Gabi Noah, and the other one was Eli Ben-Ami or Ben-Ami. Kimberly, yes. You be ready, Kimberly. Put a seatbelt on. It's going to be more interesting. She said that's interesting so far. I can read the comments here. You guys can read that too, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So then until 2010, we followed the IKMF because we used to follow Eyal. And then in 2006, we opened the Institute of Krav Maga, here in London. As I said, they only had 3 clubs, quite small. Nobody knew Krav Maga. And then we took this to, as I say, to another level by, teaching 6-7 classes a week, having different locations, and full-time. I was basically a full-time instructor. So we went from 20 students in the first month to 600 people after a while. We split this into 5 different counties: Cambridge, Cambridge, which is the city of Cambridge, not far from where I live. London, and then the county, Essex County, Hertfordshire County. Paul will know what I'm talking about. And then eventually Kent. Kent is where you can actually see France on the other side of the English Channel. I'm sure Paul took you there, didn't he?
Down up. Where was the Hitchhiker's Guide?
Oh, no. This is... so, yeah. So that was the whole story, man. And then when he decided to leave, Eyal decided to leave IKMF and be the own boss on KMG, or Krav Maga Global, as I call it, we moved because I had the business partner at the time was the guy in charge of the organization here in the UK. So we moved. We followed that for a couple of years, but then the business partner and I decided to go separate ways. You know what I mean? And as you know, when people split, what happens? So he took the kids, I took the cat and the DVD player and stuff like that. As you do. And that's it. We focus in 2 areas, which was London and Hertfordshire. So now we have London. Oh, now we don't have anything because London is on a shutdown. The mayor just locked the city, chucked the key away, and now we are just doing this online as everyone else in the world.
But before that, how many different places were you teaching that? Or how many people were you teaching?
What you mean before Krav Maga?
No, before the
COVID.
lockdown, before COVID.
Oh, the lockdown. We had a stage. We had 3 classes every night. It used to be like let's put it this way. Let's put in belts. White belt in one class separately. White, orange, and yellow and orange in a separate one, and then eventually green to the higher levels in a separate class. 3 instructors, 3 different locations at the same time. And of course, as you know, certain venues at certain stage, we're very busy. Everybody likes to go there. And then after a while, that sort of slows down, and then the other one picks up, and we have to move around and, close classes here, open classes there. It's a kind of a tricky. We deal with the most complicated, how can I put it this way? Not the asset. Okay, yeah, if you're selling bulbs, you put them in a store, look at the door, go on holiday. When you come back, the bulbs will be there. We deal with people. Today they love you. I love the session. Amazing. How much is it? Tomorrow they disappear. You cannot contact them again because they change their mind. They want to become top models.
Can't we be both?
Yeah, no, it's a kind of a tricky one. It's, dealing with people is rewarding, but it's very complicated, as you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with people.
Yes, especially. You imagine a bunch of poles together. That's a good idea.
So, Krav Maga Institute is your. What's your teaching philosophy?
Let me go back even further back there.
You went to high school together?
I was a small kid in the background. Remember that one? Never talked to him? Yeah. Never spoke to him. That's me. Boys say, yep. I trained with judo when I was 5 years old, as you do, You give your daddy and your mommy an hour's break, so you go and practice something and learn some skills. So judo was the beginning. And then after that, we moved to a different city in Brazil, and there was a karate club next door. I thought, well, karate is very different than judo, but never mind. I was about 12, 13 years old back then. Probably the same height, but younger. That was a joke, by the way. And
I was going to make it. I was happy that you jumped in.
Yeah, I know. So then I started karate, and this karate style was very unique back then. It was a mix between from white belt to black belt. You would do all the karate, all the katas and all that business, breaking tiles and things like that, boards. And then from black belt first dan to fourth dan, you will do all the groundwork. So you will learn like arm lock and the inverted, the straight, cross, the chokes, all sorts of things. Second dan, you will learn the escapes from the first dan. You know what I mean? So, and then eventually more techniques. So that went up to the fourth dan, if you like it. So we could, as a white belt to black belt, we could stand and fight as we do with karate, standing, punches and kicks. From black belt first dan to fourth dan, you could take the guy down and choke and headlock and apply some other stuff on the guy, which was like, well, okay, we can start on our knees, for instance. And then after that, the fifth dan onwards, you could actually, the jiu-jitsu, you could grab the guy, sweep legs, throw him over the shoulder. It became a more judo, jiu-jitsu style. So it was a very unique system back then. But everybody used to look at it as like crazy. This is not karate. This is not jiu-jitsu. This is a mix between a bunch of things. That was back in, long time ago, before the 96, before the first UFC. When the first UFC came about, all of a sudden, oh, hold on. It's not that you guys used to do. Yep, it's that stuff. And then became quite famous. But in 98, 99, I moved to the UK, and that was it. Then I started with Krav Maga. So my philosophy of teaching, to answer that question, is very simple. This is not just teaching.
It's not simple. I think you mean very convoluted. There's a language barrier.
The short explanations give you a bit of information. I like to make people see it.
Yeah, you like to color in the whole page.
Yeah, come on. Why not? Paul, never forget the first time I sparred with Joe. Paul, don't, not in front of the kids, eh?
Oh, please don't get him off on a tangent now. We're just about to learn his philosophy of teaching. Please, God.
I'll get it. It's not just self-defense. This is everything. People come to you not because you teach, because you're the highest guy in the U.S. that taught Chuck Norris. They come to you because they learned something. You're the father, you're the brother, you're the psychiatrist, psychologist. You're the guy that goes, how you doing? How's your elbow? How's things? And you go, nobody ever asked that question before. You're the first one. I come here because I was stressed in my work. I come to the class, I punch, I kick, I get choked, I choke people. I leave feeling, a new guy, a new person again. So tomorrow I want to come back and do this again. You know what I mean? So it's simple as that. So with the classes, London is a crazy place. And when I mean crazy place, it's crazy place. Lots of people, different backgrounds. The jokes have to be very kosher. When I mean kosher, it's not even a sense of not, we don't take sides. We joke about very plain. We don't have time to contact people in a sense of, have a chat before the class or have a chat after the class. It's very much like 5 minutes before the guy shows up. We train for an hour and a half. And he leaves, and that's it, because he needs to catch a train to go back home, which leaves perhaps 1 hour outside London. So I miss that fact that you can, call somebody like you guys do. Let's go in so-and-so's farm and spend some time shooting, have a little barbecue. Because it's more than that. It's more than just punching and kicking. What is this? Boy saying he was a regular sparring until I grabbed two of my.
You're not allowed to read anything. You know what I'm noticing? I'm noticing, how am I the least ADHD person talking? Paul's put on different hats. You're going all over the place.
That's very true, That's very true. So yeah, we are. You can claim the title back. No worries. So you know what I mean. So this is it. Our instructor team, to give an idea, some fantastic people there. One of them, which he knows what I'm talking about. We had a good friend who used to train with us for years. One day he had a mental breakdown. Mental breakdown, serious stuff. Like, can you see the what the people behind us. It's like there's nobody behind us. That kind of a hallucination, psychosis on a very high level. So this guy grabbed the student by the hand and literally walked him to the hospital. Say, look, he's having an issue. We need to put this guy here and keep him here. So at that level, so we're not just the self-defense. We do way more behind that. I'm the guy who says, look, you're moving house. We're going to be there tomorrow to help you pack all the stuff and transport the stuff. It's natural. Tomorrow we do the same. We do it, we're helping other people. So that is my philosophy of teaching, if you like it.
Thank you. Now, back to the story everyone wants to hear, especially Kim, because Kim likes kicking people in the head. The first time you and Paul met and you and Paul sparred.
Man, Paul could have killed me with his pinky finger, but he's a very nice guy, as you know. Paul walked into the place where I was teaching Krav Maga once. He sat in the corner, but the way he walked, he was like, there's something interesting with that guy. I'm not sure why. The way he saluted, or perhaps the position, the way he sat there in a chair, looking, shaking his head. I said, this guy knows something. And he sat there for the whole duration of the class, which is not normal most of the time. Like people watch for 5 minutes and they walk away. So we ended up chatting.
Star Wars quotes?
Say that again?
Was he throwing out Star Wars quotes?
No. At that time, he behaved. He was okay. He was. No, I didn't actually know this side, his Star Wars side of Paul until the book, or until you asked him a question the other day.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big side of Paul.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I started using the whole Krav Maga approach. Kick to the groin, punch to the face, grab the fingers, the lock and leverage on the fingers and stuff like that. So perhaps something not so conventional, as they call it. But it was good. It was fun. At least I don't think he ever kicked me in the head, but most likely we'll have to do this some other day. But it's good. I came across some fantastic people here, and stuff that maybe one day we need to sit down, have lots of wine, and discuss all this again.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
In person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I even got the thumbs up from my wife, which is the expert level 25 in the house. She said, "You can go to the US in August. That's okay." I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to the US in August." But the problem
Yes.
We have another guest instructor.
I'll be sitting in the corner. I'll be the guy giving water to everybody. Make sure everybody's hydrated. Let's just hope that this plague is going to go away very soon.
Yeah.
And the side effects of it is not going to damage us too much.
Well, you've been working on your third-party COVID defense, right?
Yes. Look, it's bouncy. You cannot grab me anymore.
Would you like to show it to everyone?
Is what? If I show it to everyone? Yeah.
It's like hostage, right?
That's it. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Let's see what this thing is going to bring, because nobody was actually prepared for this. Anyone who will, as I said, anyone knock on your door 3 months ago and mentioning the fact that we'll be out of business and the whole world will be in a standby for a while, they will be like, "Come on, man, you're crazy. Stop drinking, go away." Huh? But here we are, and the funny thing is, every Krav Maga instructor that I know that was very good doing one thing and one thing only, which is teaching classes. Forget about cameras, forget about videos, forget about websites and apps, and all of a sudden I had to learn overnight how to run all that stuff. I was one of them. I had all the gear in the garage, as they say here in UK. I had all the gear but no idea. How long has London been shut down? London's been shut down for 5 weeks now. 5 weeks. It's the weirdest thing ever. We walked down this. I mean, I haven't been to London in so long, I don't even know. But one of my brothers is a paramedic. He works for the London Ambulance Service. And within that, there is a special group called the HART, which is the Hazardous Area Response Team. So in other words, the guys who come with the hazmat suit, with the masks and the breathing stuff. He mentioned that, look, I've never seen anything like this before. This is something out of a movie. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. Let's see it. And anyway.
You want to say hi to people?
So we're just going to jump on real fast, Joe, and say thank you to everyone who's been watching and commenting. So hi, Monica, Kurt, Paul, Ken Malt, good morning. Todd Peters, good morning. Christina, hey Jack, another fellow Brit, I believe, right? Steve Davidson, Kim, Brandon, Michael, Phil Jones, Chris Krav Maga Murray. He sounds official. Athena, Jeff, Jeremy, Juan, George, Mike, Ed, Ray, Nicole, how you doing? Kim, Virginia, Caitlin, Ian, how are you? Eduardo.
Yep, Eduardo. Yep.
Let's see. Poop Bunting. Glad you're not working too hard, Pete. Let's see. Jason, David, Luca, Charles, Jim, Ski, SWAT Salzburg. He watches a lot of our videos. I'd like to meet him. What's your name? Rob, Jason, and Edwin. Thank you all for joining us this morning, for being quick to adjust the time, and keep questions coming. It's always fun to watch Joe get distracted. The best stories come out off of tangents.
Wow.
Hello, Brian. Welcome. So there you go.
You remember Jason, who's here when he wanted to know.
When did I start training in Poland?
Yes. Tell us that story.
Read your mind. Poland is like this. Well, I mean, you guys, U.S. is like Brazil. You fly for 3 hours, you don't go anywhere. But here, if you fly 3 hours, you pass Holland, you pass...
an hour. It's an hour flight to Poland, right?
2 hours. 2 hours.
2
hours, yes. 2 hours, you go to the center of Poland, pretty much there. It's easy to get there. In 2005, before we started the Institute of Krav Maga, we met another Krav Maga instructor, a gentleman from that area, which was heavily involved with self-defense. While in UK, Krav Maga, still to this day, very civilian, because we don't train police officers here. We don't go to police units or army units or anything like that. So it's civilian. That's it. British Army is quite different. In UK, everything is hidden. Every now and then you see a soldier with a uniform on the street, but every now and then, not like the US, everybody walks around with uniforms, and some other countries, such as Brazil especially. But anyway, and then, so we traveled there, and then we arrived in this place where, man, they had like simunition, shock knives. In UK, everything is forbidden, by the way, okay? So if you go on the street with a can of soda like this, and then you wrap insulation tape around, or the gaffer tape around, now I already have a lethal weapon where I'm disguising the fact that I want my attacker just to think this is a weapon. In other words, I will be in trouble if I use this. Just to give an idea.
Wow.
Yeah, Paul mentioned the other day, you can own shotguns and things like that, but then is another level. It's not for the ordinary Joe. You know, you need to have a bit more pedigree and more money and have a place to store this, and so on. But anyway, so then we arrive at this place, and we could go to a fire range and, had AK-47s, AR-15s, you name it, machine guns, pistols. Wow. It was like, yes, baby, I want to live here. So we started training. I used to fly there twice a month, to give an idea. Twice a month, taking students to train, because we could take this to another level.
Poland's magnificent. I would go there twice a month.
We wanted to buy a house there, to give an idea at one stage, to have like a little, like an Airbnb, which would be today, to say, right, Ernie, you want to go there? There's the key. Off you go. Where the food is already there. So, spend some time, train, come back. We do this again next month. So that's pretty much it. And we're still doing to this day. We changed, the people supply the training. Today we have different guys. We have Bartosz, which is a firearm instructor, a Krav Maga instructor. He's been running this for a while. So we go to a place called Poznan, and we do a lot of shooting. We go down Thursday, train on Friday, Saturday, and fly back Sunday night. It's a 2-hour flight, so it's easy peasy. And it's amazing. It's a very interesting experience. And then you meet the special operation guys in Poland. Guys have been to wars and stuff like that, so they can give you some, teach you some different techniques, some different approach for all that. It's fun.
So we were talking about, excuse me, setting up a training in Poland with you.
Yes.
like a camp that we do. So
Sure.
it's in the works, people.
Yeah.
Italy was supposed to be in October, but I doubt we're going to be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Look, when it comes to organized stuff like that, we have the bunch of people that goes, tell me when, and I'll be there. And then you have the ones like send me the spreadsheet with the dates, 6 months, 9 months. We will pay for the So we have two groups of people, which is okay. So we try to give everybody at least 6 months, or have a calendar, which is a 2020 calendar is on a wall there. But every day I go there and I erase one day, which is the 2020. We have to forget about it and move to 2021. So let's start thinking about 2021. Brian's there. The calendar is there. I can share with you, and you can share with your guys. We have from basic shooting courses to more advanced courses, from tactical training, kill house, long fire range. We can do whatever you want inside cars, shooting through the windscreen, all sorts of things, simunition, you name it.
You have to come. You have to come visit. We have our own little Poland. Well,
no, I know, but
Russia.
Jen,
you need to
understand. Set up. You would love it.
Yeah, if we could have half of the stuff you guys have in the US or stuff we can have in Poland, the training in the UK would be completely different. Yeah. I mean, I'm even scared of what we will look like. Perhaps we will create monsters here. I don't know.
Wait, I have a bunch of Paul's excited. You said spreadsheets.
Yeah, James, for sure, man. Oh, James. Jason. Jason James. I'll use both names if you don't mind.
I had a question. Have you ever trained with Jeff Thompson?
Spreadsheet. No, I never had the chance to train with these guys. No. I went up north, as Paul would have said, but I trained with different people, but not with those guys. No.
He's a good man. What was the biggest shock for you, Joe?
In what? In which part?
I don't know. I don't know at what point she was listening to your.
Wait, who asked the question? I'll tell you exactly who asked the question. Oh, what was the biggest shock for you? You mean in Poland? The fact that.
Let's go with it. Poland.
Yeah.
What was the biggest shock?
No, look. If you look at Brazil, for instance, Brazil is a bit mini US, if you like it. The biggest Japanese colony outside Japan is in Brazil, by the way, to give you an idea. The Polish community in Brazil is massive. They took over South Brazil. If you go below São Paulo, it's Polish everywhere, Russian, Polish, French, Italians. In terms of being in the U.S., I'll tell you funny stories about that one, Kimberly. And Tibu is our top instructor here. Tibu is our senior instructor. Has been working with us and keeping the business running for so many years now. And he's talking about vodka, which I also have a little story about the vodka. So we might need another 5 hours of this, but that's okay. I'll order some pizzas for everybody. What was I saying again?
No idea.
No.
No idea. So Kim asked a question. She asked about U.S.
No.
Poland. From Poland with the spreadsheets. Tibor, vodka. What am I talking about? So just so everyone understands.
I was talking
about this has happened to Joe too.
Poland is very
I had a lot. I had multiple concussions, many concussions. So excuse me. I think Joe too has been hit in the head quite frequently. So bear with us, okay?
Too many times. No, I was talking about Poland. I was joking. Okay?
Stop reading the comments because you're going off.
I'll not read the comments. Apart from the language, that it's impossible. I spent like a week, 10 days in Poland, and towards the end, I think I'm understanding what these guys are saying, but of course not. It's your brain just playing tricks with you. We have a very similar approach when it comes to family and things like that, because the Polish culture moved to Brazil, and Brazil is a big mix of everything there. Okay. With the U.S., Monica's talking about the U.S. Kimberly's talking about the U.S. The shock with the U.S. is this: the Americans take things very seriously. You don't make jokes, otherwise we'll fight. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Not with you, of course. I'm talking about the general approach. Yeah. Paul is probably shaking his head now, going, It's different, and perhaps living here with so many different cultures. In any of my classes, for instance, or our classes, we have at least easily, I don't know, anything between 5 to 10 different nationalities training together. Can you believe that? So it's insane, to the point where sometimes I'm explaining a technique and I go, all right, for the Italians and Spanish and Portuguese in the corner, I will demonstrate the technique. You guys are going to pick up this very quick. For the Germans and the Swiss in this corner here, I'll send you the spreadsheet later with the pictures and the graphics. And they go, oh, thank you very much. How did you know that? I says, well, because that's the way you guys think. Is not being discriminatory or racist, but that's the way it is. Simple as that. So we do we do what we can to make sure that everybody gets the message at the end of the day. And so that's why sometimes you make a joke, making jokes, and people get upset sometimes thinking that I'm being offensive.
I think England's worse. My first time teaching in England, everyone's like, thank you. I suck. I'm the worst instructor ever. I'm horrible. And they're coming up going, thank you, sir. Thank you. When Paul came up to my Paul, he's like, that was great. I was like, what? I'm horrible. Because they're English. They have no emotions. They're like, and it is.
They're very sarcastic here. There's that very dry sense of humor. The guy makes a joke, which is like being very aggressive towards you, but in reality, the guy likes you so much that he can actually joke about this kind of stuff with you.
I have a friend in Colombia,
right?
Bogota, and this dude's massive, like shaved head, tatted up, and he was special forces. When I got there, he attacked me like full bore. And I was like hitting him. And we separate. I was like, oh, this is going to suck. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? But I've had that experience a couple places.
Yes.
Poland is just like that.
Yeah. They have this, in Poland and Russian is very much like this. I mean, the Poles are tough, okay? And then the Poles look at the Russians like, no, those Russian guys are crazy. And you think, whoa, if you guys are tough, imagine those guys there then. So, and I had the experience to go to different countries. I did this instructor's course in Russia a few years back. And I went there not for the course itself. I went there to visit the place, to see Moscow, to go around. We drove around in a SWAT van. Believe me, this phenomenon. The guy stopped like a petrol station, brought beer, came with a bag full of beers. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is a police van. You are driving a police van. We are drinking beer. He says, yes, but beer in Russia is not considered an alcoholic drink because it's only 5% alcohol back then. That was 2009, by the way. Now it's considered an alcoholic drink. So that is the mentality. Those guys are, they are on a different planet, different level. So, as I normally joke, we are the aliens. We don't need to look for life anywhere else. We are the ones, man, in our different ways, if you like. Jack is laughing here because he knows what I'm talking about. Jack is from Greece, but he lives in the UK for so many years, a researcher here, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the sense of humor, the jokes about it. The guy tells really bad things about you because he loves you. He's different in the way it goes.
Is Jack the fighter?
Yeah.
Jack S. There's a Jack S there.
Yeah. Is he the fighter?
Jack used to train with still training with Ricky Lamb.
Yeah, Jack's amazing. I did an instructor shirt for prom. He came to visit.
Yes, there we go. You remember?
Hey, Jack's a badass.
It is.
Funny dude.
Yeah. So,
your profile picture.
Hey, I'm part of his profile picture. Thank you, Jack. But Ann's always want to hear more about this. Your 300% defense.
Man, look, put it this way. As we discussed about this before, we as instructors, we are stealing information from other instructors because it's very easy for you to start teaching your group of students, instructors. But then after a while, you keep talking about the same stuff, and you ended up forgetting lots of other things because you focus too much in one point of view. Then you meet another instructor and you go, oh, that exercise, that warm-up exercise, wait a minute, let me write this down. Or can I record a 10-second video because then I can remember when I get back home. I can add that to what I already know. It's pretty much like that. So every time I meet different people, I'm always sitting in the corner going, no, you do the teaching. I'm going to sit here and make notes, bring more information back.
Sometimes I just write down how they explain it or the phrase.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, that was good.
Yes.
Just the wording or the technique
Yes.
or how they linked it. Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, so the 300% defense came from this club in Poland that I used to train with. The gentleman in charge there is a very clever guy. He used to buy books and books and books about different martial arts and stuff and study them. And then every now and then he would find something interesting in those books and he would take it and introduce that into his Krav Maga routine. So I'm sure if you start looking at books of different martial arts, you will find this 300% defense there. The majority of the Israeli organizations like the 200%. Hand defense and body is 1, and then the step away from the line is 2, so it's 200%. So this guy broke it down in 3 levels. The hand is 1, the body is 1, the step away is another 1. When it comes to teaching, then it's even more interesting because you can use different analogies, because at the end of the day, is you breaking this down in small chunks in order for the Italian Joe to understand and the Italian German Joe to understand too. So the spreadsheet and the visual guy. Does that make sense? So I always like this, I'm 100%, 200%, 300%, which makes life easy to understand. And then there's the analogy that comes with that. So the hand is the motorcycle that leaves the drag line, the racing line, if you like it, the starting line. There's a motorcycle, there's a car, and there's a truck. Yeah, the motorcycle is much lighter, leaves the line quicker, represented by the hand. The car is the body, moves slightly later. Yeah, see, I'm dancing. And then the truck is actually you stepping away from the line of attack. And to prove that, I grab whatever I have in my hand and I throw at someone. They normally catch it. Says, why didn't you jump away from the line? Let this thing pass. Because you're not prepared, because you're not ready. Your mindset's not ready. So, okay, now I understand. So eventually when next time you throw something at him, he will step out of the way because he's prepared. So then it's a different way of explaining the natural reaction when you're not ready with your hands in your pockets thinking about holiday, or what you call vacation, different than if I'm standing in front of you pointing a finger and you're in a fighting stance. Then the reaction will be different than the first initial motion.
Yeah.
So that's where all this came. But I have not invented that. I'm sorry, I cannot claim it. But
it's funny. You're talking, I'm thinking about a bad spinal tap thing. Well, yours is 200%. Ours is better. It's 300%. But ours is 400%. It's like,
Yes. We keep making. What I found sometimes is that people try to reinvent the wheel and give them names. Is the Joe Ambrosino Krav Maga? It's like no. There are so many ways you can defend against a straight punch. So many ways you can defend against a circular motion attack. That's it. So that's the way it goes. Some people, as you know, lots of them become black belts in Krav Maga. Sometimes even write books about it, and then they leave because something happened. And now all of a sudden, Krav Maga is no good anymore. What I'm doing now is better. Oh, here we go. That makes me, I believe, disappointed. But anyway, who am I, huh? Just a guy.
No, I understand. I always tell my students, it's not what you can do on your best day. It's what you can do on your worst day.
Exactly.
When you're injured, when you're thinking about something totally different.
Yeah.
And violence happens. It's not, I'm looking for it, I'm ready. No, walk away. It's what can you do on your worst day?
Yeah.
And then that's where we go.
And also, some of the guys take this too seriously. You know, they want to keep that I'm the master. You only see me on a good day when I'm beating the student up in front of everybody to show how good I am. But I'm like, no. Let's spar. Today you hit me hard. I ended up on the floor crying. You know, the session is over because I'm injured. Let's go home. Next day, someone else will do it again. It's a continuous. It's a group effort, if you like. It's not just an individual. But some of the guys take this to another level, as you know it.
That's what I liked about you. You posted something. Was it a belt test? And you're like, look, I'm going to put the good, the bad, the ugly. It's all there. This is a real test. Dude, that's the truth of it. It's not how pretty it looks, but did it work?
Yeah, if you like the edit version of everything in life, you just go and watch a movie, and then you see the guy who's not even an action actor doing some crazy stuff. And it depends. People, unfortunately, as human beings, we have to be honest with me. I don't like people lying to me. But at the same time, I go online and I find 30 seconds before the end of this promotion stuff, let me click and buy, otherwise I'll miss the opportunity. Or only 3 available, you're going to be one of them. So we like this kind of a lie in the sense of we cannot deal with the truth, unfortunately. But anyway, I've got an Harlow accent. Is there such a thing as an Harlow accent, is it?
I don't know what that is.
Mahalo is the center of the universe, which is the place where I live, by the way, honey. Don't you know that? What a shame, huh? In this area, as you know, Neil, there's the Essex accent, which is, it's a funny.
Can you demonstrate?
Oh, no, I cannot. I have to bring my son. He will be able to talk to you, but you have problems understanding. They cut. And then you have the Cockney, which is the one in London where they cut. There's a lot of slang. It's like if I say, can I have your dog and bone? And you're going to go like, what? Dog and bone? No, your telephone. So dog and bone became the telephone. You're having a giraffe, or in other words, you're having a laugh. And that's how it goes. Yeah. So that's the Cockney. He's been here too many times. Oh, that's for sure. Yeah.
Neil's from England also.
Oh, is it? Good job, man. I probably know him. I have a massive problem. You give me a name in a paper, I have no idea who that is. You show me a picture, I go, aha, it's that guy. He's got a problem. He walks funny. He likes to punch with his right hand. I can give you details about people by looking at pictures, and I remember the facts. But when you ask me to describe anyone by the name, I was like, no idea. I'm sorry.
So, because we're getting close to ending, but I want you to give out your information, your schools, your website, your Instagram,
the Institute of Krav Maga,
your Tinder, whatever it is.
Sex boy, yes. No, I don't do Tinder. No, I've been happily married for too many years now. I love
that because I met your wife, and it's amazing because I'm like, how did this happen? Like, how did he choke her out? What? But I met your wife.
Yeah,
and also because I'm the same way. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah. The reason why I train Krav Maga is to defend against my wife. She's South Africa, man. Those guys are in another level. So you have to be careful if you're not. She's in the kitchen chopping food like this, and I'm passing. She goes, pass me the stuff with the knife. She's pointing the knife at me. And I was like, whoa, defending, inside, outside.
300%.
That's the reason why.
So give us your info.
Say that again?
Yes. Give us your info, then you can answer Kurt's question.
Yeah, you got it. Institute of Krav Maga. So if you go to institute-Krav Maga, can I spell it for you? .co.uk. Yeah, that's us. But it's easy to find us here. So I hope. My only fear is that when we are allowed on the streets again, we are allowed to practice defense against bear hugs, which might take a while. The venues that we hire in Central London, the big gyms that we hire there, I hope those chains will be able to survive all this and come back and reopen again. Because if that's not the case, then I will be teaching Krav Maga in the Trafalgar Square, which is the main square in Central London. Open spaces there. I don't know. So that's another fear. So we can plan so much ahead, but we need to play according to the terrain in the future when it comes to go back and teach classes there. For sure, we will have to adapt a little bit. For sure, we'll have to do something slightly different. But regardless, whenever there's a time, we'll be able to do it. Because as I tell everybody, I used to joke before that. So train Krav Maga as much as you can. Use your imagination. Because if we need to fight for food one day, at least you're not going to go home hungry. So that was my joke before Corona. Maybe I started all this and I didn't know, by joking about it. But so that's the idea. So instituteofkravmaga.co.uk. That's us. If you find us here, come and join us. Come and train. I'll give you a T-shirt, which is normally what we do. So for you to take back as a souvenir, because everybody loves a T-shirt as a souvenir.
Yeah, I had a student or two come to visit you, the train. Yeah. They had a good time.
You had, I think, I had a guy from Canada, which I met him in Canada the other day. Funny enough, we had the chance to meet again and have a chat, have a meal together. Kurt was saying that what would imagine that there are differences in many Krav Maga organizations that you have trained with. Is there a common denominator that they each exhibit? Yes, the curriculum is the same. You start with a white belt or whatever level you call it, P level, practitioner level, white belt level, with attacker coming from the front, dealing with striking, and then eventually yellow belt, orange belt, attackers coming on the sides, and then eventually a higher level, the problems start happening from behind. And then eventually brown belt to graduate level, the pistol comes into action. This is the civilian. and then eventually the long weapons will come later in the graduate level after a while, because if you start showing long weapons, short weapons, knife and sticks and guns in the beginning level, people just don't understand anything. And then after half a dozen sessions, they will tell everybody that I'm Krav Maga trained and I don't want to see those basic techniques anymore, instructor. Show me something more interesting, which that's, is hard to match that. That's more or less what I see in the Krav Maga organization. It's pretty much the same.
Well, I don't know if you agree with this, but I feel like we have more in common than we have different.
Yeah, sure.
But it's the differences that people hold on to so strongly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was very guilty when you put my head up, because in the beginning I was like, whatever my instructor showed me, that's the way it is. There's no such a thing as any other techniques. But then when you start using simulation to train, and you realize, oopsie, I got a bullet in my neck here. And why? Because you use that technique that you think it was right, but maybe the other one is better. Oh, let me try the other. Oh, the other one is actually working better. It's I guess I'm getting old now, so that comes with a package. You're coming 2 weeks, so congratulations. Let me know. We'll pick you up at the airport and we'll take you around. No worries. If we can, because the police is tracking people down the streets here and giving them fine. Yeah, and they're even looking at your mobile phone. If there are many mobile phones together, they are tracking and going there and sending everybody home. So, yeah.
Oh my God, that would be horrible here. We already have people are protesting the quarantine. So if they did that, oof.
No, but look,
civil unrest.
Going back to the time they wrote the
Constitution.
Constitution, they would never imagine that citizens have to fight against something like that in the future. Because if anyone would have had any ideas of that, it would be a completely different piece of paper. Of course, they did what they did back in the day under those circumstances, but now it's kind of a tricky to follow the rule by word by word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem in the UK, we have anything between 500 to 900 people dying daily. So 900 people died every day. That makes you change your mind a little bit, and when it comes to go out and shake hands. So it's been tricky. So you cannot fight against that. And I get information from my brother, which is, as I said, is paramedic. And he says, look, if you go to the incubator, if you have to put a tube down your throat, you have a 20% chance to come out of there alive, which then anyone with a certain age with a lot of health issues will never make it. So tricky one. So keep it safe, guys.
So you want to end on a happy note?
Happy note. Yeah, we could have some happy notes. So yeah, let's plan this camp in the US for sure. I have a bunch of guys here that last time I had an interview with Paul. They were very keen to travel to the US to do some shooting and train with you guys. Also, anyone coming to this side of the pond, let me know. As I said, we have a special service. I have my best man behind the wheel, which is me. I go to the airport, I pick you up, we take you around. We have some fun, we do some training. And let's organize this training camp in Poland.
Yes.
I have some contact in Russia, but then again, if you guys want to go that way, the Spetsnaz University, also some good guys, good instructors working there. We have fees for everything. Ammunition is cheap. We will fire AKs, but that's okay. We have fun and drink a little vodka and do a little dance and try to come back alive.
Paul's getting excited again. Say something in Star Wars.
Lots of pew pew. Exactly. Lots of pew pew. Yeah. So thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. And
thank you. I miss you, man.
As well, man. You have no idea. You have no idea. So we need to get this thing out of the way, and then we can travel again.
Guys, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell everybody we said hi.
Yeah, same to you guys now. I'll take. Bye-bye.
Brother.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.